How's it going, everybody? So in this video I just want to show y'all my cheap and affordable Gongfu tea set. This is a tea set that I've constructed out of random pieces that I've collected over the years so I could enjoy tea in a more traditional way, and it's just a lot of fun and it makes having tea a much more enjoyable experience, especially if you're a tea fan. So this tea set, I primarily try to get things that were relatively affordable. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money like you see on YouTube. A lot of people have these really expensive Gongfu tea sets with all these fancy items. So I'll just quickly go over the items that I have, and I'll post down below the links to what I bought. I got most of this off of Amazon. So right here is my tea tray. This is what you set all your tea on, and it basically just catches the water. I got this for around $12 or so at Daiso, which, if you don't know, is kind of like a Japanese dollar store, sort of. I think it's a little bit higher quality than dollar store, but it's just kind of like a Japanese convenience store. And it's made in China, but I like it. I got it in a bamboo and white color, and it's worked out pretty well, and it was a pretty affordable price. Next up, I have two teapots. So this one I got at a Japanese store as well for about $20. It's just some random Japanese style clay teapot. So you can see, got it for $19.98. They're probably more expensive now, but that's what I got it for. So it's really great for brewing sencha or green teas, and this is my more Chinese style teapot. It says it's purple clay. I got it off Amazon, but you know, it might not be real. I'm not quite sure, but I love the look of it, and I usually use this for my black teas or darker teas, while I use the Japanese style teapot primarily for green teas. Now when you're brewing the tea, I like to pour it into a little glass. This isn't necessary, but on the left here I have my matcha glass, which I usually sometimes will use, or you can use the one on the right. If you use it for matcha, you know, you can get dual purpose out of it. But this is the one that I got off Amazon. It was relatively cheap. Again, it's not really a necessary item, but then I also got this little filter. It came with a frog, which I guess you could call like a tea pet or something, that you could put on the tea tray, but it unfortunately broke. So now all I have is the strainer, which I like to put right there. It happened to fit just perfect. So when you're done brewing the tea, it will act as just a little filter, but you could also skip the glass and just put it on top of your normal glass. So the cup that I'm using is just a tea cup that I got off Amazon as well, and it looks pretty nice. It's just kind of like a retro porcelain Chinese teacup, and you know, instead of using that glass kind of decanter, you could just place the filter on top of this cup and it'll fit just fine, or if you just have any other old teacup. So it's not necessarily something you have to go out and look for. I just thought this one looked really neat. Alright, next up we have some other items. So right here are some tea utensils. These are kind of extra as well. I guess you could use this bamboo little thing to put your tea on and scrape it into your teapot, or if you have like a pu'er tea, you can chop it up and put it on it. That's for grabbing bits of tea, and then I don't really use any of the other ones. Maybe the spoons for like spooning matcha or something. Now also with my tea set, I got these little tea knives to break up, you know, tea cakes and bricks and whatnot. I got the two lighter brown ones for free. They just came with some tea cakes that I've bought online, and then the only one that I actually bought is the darker colored one off Amazon, and it works pretty well. They also act as cool little, I guess, little pocket weapons if you want, but it's a little nice addition, and it's kind of fun to stab into a tea cake and break it apart with like a little knife. And that's it. That's my tea set. It's relatively simple. I try to keep it pretty minimalistic. You know, you can take in or out some of the items that I've listed here, but for the most part, it shouldn't run you too much money. And yeah, it's just a good way to experience tea in a little bit more traditional sense and have a better experience if you just want to have little tea ceremonies here and there and just kind of have a more relaxing experience. So I'll end this video off with me making some tea, and I'll see y'all in the next video.